Hi, I'm Robert Polatsky, and today I'm here with Coach Bena. He was a technology teacher here at Niskayuna High School, as well as Jeff Blatnick's high school varsity wrestling coach. So, Coach, what was it like getting to coach Jeff, and what was it like as a person?
I didn't meet him till he was a 10th grader. And I had no one in my wrestling room that weighed above 200 pounds, and I needed a heavyweight, or else I would have had to forfeit that weight class. It was 1972, and went out in the hall looking for a big kid. I saw this big kid, and I walked up to him and introduced myself and told him he could be our varsity heavyweight. And his first words to me were, "I don't like wrestling." And I was persistent, and I continued. I'd see him in the hall and tell him that we still had a varsity spot open for him. And finally he came out. I knew he was a good student, but I did know him as a wrestler, and he was a hard-working, very, very, very hard-working wrestler. Very dedicated.
What was it like getting to know a state champion, a national champion, and ultimately an Olympic gold medalist?
Yeah, when he started wrestling the first year, he did what we in wrestling called counting the lights. He counted a lot of lights in a lot of gyms, which meant he was on his back. So that happened a lot as a 10th grader. But then at the end of the year, he said, "Coach, I'm hooked. I'm a wrestler." And he went off to wrestling camp in Pennsylvania. He came back the next year, and he only lost one match the whole year. And he continued working off season between his junior and senior year, and he came back as a senior very dominant. He had 29 matches. He won all 29, and he won 27 of them by pins. That's dominant. Then he went off to Springfield College, and he became a national champ there, three-time All-American. Yeah. And at the end of, when he graduated from Springfield College, he tried out for the Olympic team, and he made the 1980 Olympic team. But the United States boycotted the Olympics in 1980. And he told me he was going to make the 1984 team. And he told me at that time that he was going to be operated on for cancer.
What kind of cancer?
He had Hodgkin's disease.
Hodgkin's?
Yeah. And I went to see him in the recovery room right after his operation. And he looked at me with glazy eyes. He still was under a little bit of the effect of the medication. And he said, "Coach, I'm going to be there in '84. And I'm thinking, boy, that's a tall order you're putting on yourself. But he made it. He went back to training, and he made the '84 Olympic team, and he was an Olympic champion. He won, beat a Swede in the finals, and was a gold medalist.
You must have been thrilled. Where were you?
I had the opportunity to go to Los Angeles, and I was thrilled to go there. In fact, the Niskayuna High School raised some money to send my wife and I out to the Olympics. Yeah. So I was in the stands when he won. And what a thrill. And he won it, got the deciding point in the last few seconds. And as soon as he won, the kind of wrestler, person that Jeff was, he dropped to his knees, put his hands together over his head and looked up to the sky and thanked God for that victory. And he dedicated that match to his deceased older brother. It was a thrill to watch him on the podium, on the top rung of the podium, and watch the American flag go up behind him and hear the national anthem. And it was so exciting.
What happened after that night?
He was autographing napkins and T-shirts, and so that was his first time feeling the notoriety, the fame of being a gold medal champ.
What was your relationship like after you graduated high school?
We kept in contact. I watched his kids grow up. I'd see him in wrestling events all the time. In fact, this doesn't seem real that he's deceased. And it will be when I go to a wrestling event and we're on a mat where he should be coaching and he's not there. That's when it's going to really hit me that it really happened. Jeff was an inspiration to a lot of young wrestlers, a lot of young athletes, because Jeff didn't just wrestle. Jeff also played football, And he liked to play basketball too. In fact, he was a basketball player before he was a wrestler. And he was an inspiration to all these young athletes, to young people. They didn't have to be athletes. He worked with Special Olympics.
Wow.
He did a lot of volunteer work. One of the big ones he volunteered for was the American Cancer Society. But he was involved with the community, and this is a great loss to the community, because not only was he a wonderful athlete and an inspiration, but he was a very humble and nice person, and did not wear his Olympic championship on his shoulders. You wouldn't know he was an Olympic champion if you met him somewhere and started talking with him.